Good morning. This is pre-algebra for Thursday. And today we're going to be looking at lesson problem set 93. Today we're going to talk about how to use multiple parentheses and brackets with signed numbers. Now, it's not difficult. You just got to think. When we did orders of operation, we said do exponents and parentheses first. Then multiply and divide from left to right. And then add and subtract left to right. We're going to keep those principles in mind as we work these problems. Let's look at the first one. I have -2 parentheses, -2 minus 3 plus 1 parentheses minus bracket parentheses, -3 minus 2 parentheses times 4 bracket. Okay, so where do I start? Start with your parentheses, the innermost parentheses, okay? So this is on the outside, so I'm just going to bring it down, -2. Then I'm going to look at this parentheses and say, now remember, we're going to use algebraic addition here. So we have -2 plus -3 is -5. -5 plus a +1 is a -4. Now I put my minus and I have a bracket, okay? Because I'm going to use the innermost parentheses here. Now I have, inside my parentheses, I have -3 plus -2 is -5. Then I have a raised dot, which means what? Means to multiply. So we have 4 times 5. Now what do we do? Go back to this side, and again, we have a multiplication here. These brackets are only holding this together, so we can go ahead and solve. -2 times -4 is a +8. How do I know that? Well, 2 times 4 is 8. Both signs are negative. That makes my answer positive. So I have a +8 minus, and I'm going to put my little bracket here, -5 times 4. Well, 5 times 4 is 20. 1 is positive and 1 is negative, so that makes it -20. Now what do I have? I have an 8. That's a +8 minus a -20, okay? So when we have a positive and negative, I can't subtract this, right? So what do I can't subtract a negative number. What do? I change the sign. I want to add it. But if I change this sign, I must change this sign as well. So now I have 8 plus 20 equals 28. All right, let's try another one. Okay, -2, and then we have a parentheses of -3, -5, plus a bracket. We have 6, then parentheses of -2 plus 8 plus a 2 in the end. So what are we going to do first? The innermost parentheses. Look at parentheses first, okay? I can't do anything with this -2, so I write it down. Bring down my parentheses. What is -3 plus -5? It is a -8. Then bring down my bracket and put my 6. Now I've got my parentheses. What is -2 plus 8? It is +6. Then I've got a +2. Now, on this side, I have no parentheses that are grouping parentheses. This is just grouping the sign, right? So I have a -2 times a -8. What is that? +16. Now, on this side, I have 2 operations inside my bracket, okay? Inside my bracket, I need to multiply and I need to add. Which one do I do first? You multiply and divide before you add or subtract. So 6 times 6 is 36, and then we got the 2. Now what do? Well, I'm finished with this. I'm going to bring it down. Put my bracket. 36 plus 2 is 38. Now, all I need to do is add my last 2 numbers, okay? And I have 54. Okay, so let's talk about this again. When you look at your original number, I'm going to erase this one. It looks too crowded with all of that up there. When you look at your original problem, you deal with things inside the innermost parentheses first. Here, I only have 1 set of parentheses, so I work with this. But when I go over here, I have parentheses and brackets. Look only at the innermost. Solve those. Bring them down. Then keep going, okay? The next place where sometimes you have confusion is you had -2 times -4, giving you a +8. Then you had subtraction of a -5 times +4, which is a -20. But remember, I can't subtract a negative number. I have to change that to an addition and then change my sign. That's how I got to 28. Look at your practice section, please, in your book. We're looking at practice problems of lesson 93, letter B. So write this on your paper and do it together. Okay? Our problem says 3 parentheses -8 minus 2 parentheses plus 2 minus bracket 4 parentheses 3 minus 2 parentheses and brackets. Now let's solve this problem together. What do you do first? Parentheses and brackets. So with this number, I'm just going to bring it down. Bring down your parentheses. -8 minus and a -2, what are we going to do? Algebraic addition, we're adding these together. -8 plus -2 is a -10. Then I have a +2, no brackets or anything, and a subtraction sign. Now I have brackets. Let's bring the bracket down. What am I going to use first over here? The 3 minus 2, so just bring the 4 down. What is 3 minus 2? It is 1, okay? Now we can forget that first row and look only at our second. What are we going to do over here? Well, I have to multiply and add. So the first thing I'm going to do, over there on the other side, I'll work those brackets in a second. 3 times -10 is a -30 plus 2 minus, now I have a bracket over here, and 4 times 1 is 4. Now what do? Work left to right, adding and subtracting, because there's no multiplication, no division, so we're just going to add and subtract. -30 plus 2 is -28 minus the 4. Okay, so now what are we going to do here? Okay, we're going to say what's 4 less than that? We're going to say it is a -20, okay? This is not a negative number. That's why we're not changing our sign, okay? So we have a -24, okay? If it had been a -4, then we needed to change our number. Only change your number when it's a negative number you're trying to subtract. Look in your book. It says the product of a number and 15 is increased by 4. The result is 49. What is that number? Well, let's see if we can figure that out together, okay? Let's look at them closely. It says that the product, that's our, meaning we're going to answer, it's a multiplication. What are we going to, it's the product of some number, or we'll say n, and 15. So we're going to multiply 15 and n. So let's write it as 15n, because it doesn't matter which way we write that. It is increased by 4. What are we going to do? We want to add 4. Then we say that the result is 49. So we said 15 times some number increased by 4 is 49. So what are we going to do now? Well, we're going to subtract 4 from each side, because we're going to do the opposite of what it says. It says to add 4, so we're going to subtract 4. This cancels, leaving us 15n equals 45. This means to multiply. So what are we really going to do? Divide each side by 15. This gives me n equals 3. Okay, let's look at the next one in your book. It says 15 less than 10 times a number is -105. So 15 less than. That means we're going to subtract 15 from some number. We don't know what that number is. We're just going to subtract 15 from it. Okay? 15 less than, what's that number? 10 times a number. Okay, so we're going to say 10n, because that means 10 times. And it's going to equal, or is, a -105. Okay, so now what do? It says that we're going to subtract 15, so really we're going to add 15. Whatever you do on the left, you must do on the right. Those two cancel, leaving us 10n. Over here, what do we got? We have -105. We're adding 15, so our answer is going to be a -90. Now what do? Divide each side by 10 so we can get rid of it right here. So we have n equals negative 90 divided by 10. Well, what's 90 divided by 10? 9. This side is negative, this side is positive, so my answer is negative 9. Let's look at the next problem. It says, Hessler multiplied his magic number by 14. Then he added 8. The result was 50. What was his magic number? Well, the magic number is going to represent what? N. So let's look at it again. Some number, okay, is his magic number, okay? And he multiplied it by 14, and he added 8. And when he did that, it equaled 50. So what are we going to do? It says to add the 8, we're really going to subtract the 8. Okay, this is canceled, so now we have 14n. Now we have 50 minus 8, which is 42. And what do we do now? Divide by 14, because we want to get rid of it here. So n equals 3. The big important part of this is making sure you're getting the equations written. Now you're going to notice that in a day or so you don't have any more daily quizzes, and that's on purpose. We're just trying to get ready for our final test in this class, okay? It's very important, though. That means that you do the homework, because without the homework, you get a 0, okay? Guys, I miss you. I hope you're having a good day. All right, bye.